Hey there. A lot of people ask me on a regular basis my take on drugs, like recreational drugs, pot, marijuana, cannabis, magic mushrooms, ecstasy, cocaine, heroin. People ask me because my personality is so quirky and animated that I think people assume that I do drugs. I don't. And in fact, I'm actually quite anti-drug because I'm a believer that whatever you're doing that drug for, whatever it is that you're getting from the drug or you think you're getting from the drug, can be attained through your own mind, especially pot smokers. That's the one that is the most confusing to me. The human brain has cannabis receptors in it. Did you know that? Those are little stimuli receptors waiting for that stimulus. That's why we react so quickly and have such a strong reaction to THC, the active ingredient of cannabis, because it stimulates those cannabis receptors and reacts to the brain right away. It's believed that we at one time probably consumed edibles a lot of cannabis in its raw state. Of course, it was nowhere near as strong as it is today, but we probably ate salads or, included it with our meals in the early days, before the 1700s, 1800s, times like that, maybe even. So, without getting too much into it, and all the legalization that's going on with everything, and I have to say that I think marijuana is dangerous and addictive only because it doesn't seem like it is. So it's very subtle. You're subtly going to slip into a world where you kind of depend on it as your form of self-medication instead of exercise, eating well, so forth, creativity. And what I think happens is that people, their ambition and their zest for life and things like that, I'm not saying it takes it from you, but it dulls it. It dulls the senses a little bit, and that's a fact. It also can cause slight cases of schizophrenia, and this is a proven scientific fact, especially if you start marijuana smoking at a very young age, and that's because you are telling yourself that you have to lie to your parents or whoever it is that you have to deceive because they're not going to approve of your habit. So you have to lie to them and manipulate them and deceive them on a regular basis. And can you imagine creating such a level of distrust with your own mother and father at such a young age? Can you imagine what type of person you'll be by the time you're in your 30s? You'll learn that it's okay to get what you want through deception. So people like that would make good politicians, huh? So that's just my little mild take. I'm not judging. I don't care what people do. I've got a lot of friends that smoke and do drugs, trust me. And I don't judge them, and I never say anything to them when they do. As a matter of fact, I play chess with a guy who smokes pot, and if he doesn't smoke, I beat him every time. So I like it when he smokes because then he's a challenge. He thinks more, makes him focus a little bit. As for magic mushrooms, which seem to be coming onto the scene quite a bit recently for depression, ego removal, it's an anti-pride, psychotropic, and powerful. And there's a lot of positive things on microdosing magic mushrooms or drinking it as a tea, Jimson weed type thing. And I think magic mushrooms are probably, for medicinal reasons, the most dangerous substance on earth. And the reason for that is because it imitates your already existing state of happiness and gives you this feeling of just incredible, makes you feel incredible. There's nothing wrong with that. Heck, that's great. But it's not going to give you any sense of feelings above and beyond what you're already capable of feeling. So all you really have to, chances are you're going to be taking it during a rough spot in your life. You feel depression, you got some crap going on and everything. So somebody comes to you and says, hey, you should try magic mushrooms. They'll cheer you up. And you do, and it does. It puts you where you were before your little rut, right? That's dangerous because then you become addicted to something that is only putting you where you were. And when you stop doing it, you can't get back to where you were without that drug. So don't do stuff like that. I'm anti-doctor. I don't even take pharmaceutical prescription drugs. I hate them all. Painkillers, I'll get basil, things like that, black seed oil. I'm all about Mother Nature providing me with the tools that I need to heal myself and my friends and family. So if I don't believe in legal pharmaceutical drugs that are at least inspected in some way or form, imagine how I feel about illegal drugs that no telling what processes were used to expedite making these things. Chemicals, substances that are used in cannabis and magic mushrooms. Imagine, it's illegal. There's nobody controlling it, so there's no telling what's in there, especially if it's coming from a country outside of the United States. They could use PSP on their crops. They can use DDT. They can use all kinds of crazy things to keep bugs from destroying their money. As for cocaine, heroin, anything else like that, I shouldn't even have to go there, right? That's ridiculous. You're talking about things that are going to imitate parts of the human brain at such a level that the brain won't even be able to function without them when you stop doing them. Avoid that stuff. Holy crap, don't do anything like that. Please, 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 please. Send me a message and ask me for advice before you start doing heavy-duty drugs like that. Woo! That's dangerous, man. Dangerous, dangerous. There's a reason the Wizard of Oz showed Dorothy and the rest of the troupe fall asleep in that field of poppies. Heroin is extremely powerful to both the body in a physical sense and to the mind. It changes things. And lastly, acid, LSD. A lot of people think there's nothing wrong with doing small doses of acid. I have a serious problem with LSD, mainly because the human mind is composed of hundreds and thousands of doors, okay? And all of these doors, they're not locked, but they're closed. And you as a person, as you go through life, it is your responsibility to turn those knobs and open those doors and experience them, right? When you do something like LSD, all the doors in your brain are swung open at once. Every single one of those doors is swung open at once. And you have a bombardment of all this mental energy coming into your head. And for some people, that's amazing. They'll pop it, go to a club, go dancing all night, and they just experience everything in a manner that they just can't imagine ever being able to do without that drug. Problem is, those doors won't ever close. Again, they're open, and you haven't gotten to them yet. So what I'm saying is it's like little levels, like a ladder, going up the ladder, right? You're here, and you have to go through all these steps to get here, okay? You do something like acid, and it takes you from here to here, and you miss this area right here. You don't enter any of those doors. It's extremely psychologically dangerous. So please, please, stop doing LSD, or don't even think about trying LSD. Don't. Instead, overdose on oregano and cinnamon, okay? If you want to trip balls. Or take 5 drops of turpentine, natural healing. Very powerful. Turpentine is a very, very important healing agent. But if you take a little extra, your brain will go nutty. It'll be like a form of meditation. And instead of harming you, it does only good things. And last but not least, ecstasy, mollies, MDMA, whatever that party drug is, that stuff. Holy crap, what are you trying to do? Destroy your nervous system? That stuff was made illegal. It was created for marriage counselors to use. Their patients would come in and they each give the husband and the wife one of those, and it would make them fall back in love again. And they'd be extremely honest with one another and tell each other all their problems. Chances are the psychiatrist could help them, or the counselor could help them out with that. So they'd end up staying together. But to do it as a party drug, holy mackerel. They ended up discovering Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, all of those horrible mental disorders are enhanced, fueled, and put on steroids from ecstasy. So, as fun as it may sound to try, don't do that. Now, I'm not lumping them all into the same category. I think one of the most dangerous things on the planet is when people say things like marijuana is just as dangerous as heroin. That's bullshit. It's not. They're in totally different category. And I don't even think marijuana is a gateway drug to other drugs either. Most pot smokers that I know, that's the only thing they do. And no, it's not true anymore that, the stereotype created from Cheech and Chong and so forth, that you smoke a joint, eat a bag of Cheetos, and pass out on the couch. That's not the case. Forensic statistics say that 98% of all crimes committed, and almost 99% of all violent crimes committed in the United States, especially Chicago and New York, the criminal was high. I'm not saying that marijuana has anything to do with their crimes. No, I'm not. If anything, The marijuana might keep them from committing more crimes and making them less aggressive than they already are. But what I am saying is that it's not a lazy person's drug. That's all bullshit. That's urban legends. I know a lot of professional athletes that smoke a shit ton of pot. You know what I mean? Skateboarders are notorious for having the reputation of being not an accurate description of a skateboarder, because I was a skateboarder and I didn't smoke. But skateboarders in general tend to be generic pot smokers. You know, I know a lot of skaters and most of them do smoke. But again, that's stereotyping. But with that being said, I've never met a lazy skateboarder in my life. They're some of the most active, jumping up, jumping down people I've ever met. That also goes for snowboarders. Almost every one of my professional snowboarding friends is a major smoker. And a lot of them do edibles. They'll eat some stuff a couple hours before a race. So stereotypes and dishonesty and misinformation, these are the things that confuse people and make people curious. So if you just smoke a joint and then you just did it for curiosity or peer pressure, and then later you're like, man, if pot's not this bad, then maybe I should try doing a little bit of heroin. And that's the danger of lumping them all together. You got to put perspective on everything. You know what I mean? Marijuana, of all of the recreational escapism drugs, is probably the safest. And it's an exfoliant to the lungs, too, so it's actually not as carcinogenic as, like, say, tobacco, because it makes you cough more, and it creates a lot of mucus, which traps all the negativity that could be possibly in what you're smoking. And then you cough it up and spit it out, right? The damage that is caused from marijuana and the fact that the human mind has cannabis receptors in it is caused by its ability to make you comfortable with everything that's going on in your life. Oh, somebody threw a rock through my window. That's okay, I'll fix it tomorrow. You know, and then tomorrow you wake up early and you take care of it. But that's the problem. Ambition, zest, passion, they kind of start slipping away. And once they're gone, you kind of get the sense that you can't get them back without smoking. So you got creative people like actors and musicians and comedians and so forth, that they kind of think that they can't do their thing unless they get high beforehand. You know, Robin Williams was a perfect example. He even admitted to his cocaine addiction and how he would bump a crap ton right before he stepped on stage. And you know, you watch his stand-up and it's kind of obvious that he's on something. But he didn't think he'd be funny without it. And that's why drugs are dangerous. At least the abuse of drugs is dangerous. Thanks for watching. I'll step off my little pedestal on drugs for the moment, and I'll bid you a good week.